Good morning, good morning. Here we have gold, and before we get started, I just want to make sure that I mark down the correct things right here. Alright, we did not get a closure below here, so we need a closure below here. As far as everything goes, we're using, if you look here, I'm not using the SMA, I could just remove that. I'm not using this either. The fractals I do use sometimes. All it does is just tell you the fractal highs and lows, right? The swing points. If you don't know how to look at them yourself. So sometimes I do use it, but other than that, I'm using the Asian range indicators. And I use two because I'm using one for the London session and one for the New York session. Alright. And let me go ahead and share the link here. Tomorrow we have some interesting news, which I will talk about later. We have some interesting. The reason I'll talk about it later is because we want to make sure that we look at the results. But anyway, give me 1 second. Okay. So here we are, here's our chart, and we see gold is already going up. We would like it to come back down here, right? Now, it does have an entry for gold drilling right here. Let me go ahead and draw this. This is a gold drilling entry right here, okay? For the regular, we needed to close below this low right here. Alright. For the drilling, we still have, let me go ahead and mark the very high here to the very low. And the 50% line would be right here. Where you would break even, so it's pretty far to break even. Hopefully we get a trade, hopefully it at least trades back down into this area right here. But the gold drilling entry is right here. It could make other highs, right? Other high. What else? So I'm also looking at, let me go ahead and open up pound USD on this chart. I'm just looking at pound USD because what I would like from pound USD is to make a new imbalance, right? Because it broke this area, so hopefully it makes a new imbalance to go down, and we'll take a down movement. The reason I'm just trading pound USD as well is because this is usually open. It's open during USD and New York and London session. So I've been looking at something on pound USD that's been working, and it uses similar strategy to the morning delight. So it made a new imbalance here. The problem with this imbalance is that it's really big, right? If we were to get in on this imbalance, we still could get, let me mark the 50%. If you guys do want to take this, you could, right? The stop loss would be 2 pips below the candle with the imbalance, which is right there. And take profit is pretty far up. So it still has a good ratio right here, 18R. That's a good ratio if it does flip all the way up. Okay. It has to come 50% into here though. And if it doesn't work here, you enter it here. Break even is right here, and that would be a 7R. So if you're risking like 0.4%, this would be a really, or 0.5%, this is like a 9% gain on this. Yeah, I wouldn't risk a full percent ever on gold drilling, because we know it does fail. It does fail sometimes. Okay. Let us look at pound USD. Now, what I'm looking at pound USD is basically, it's simple. I'll show you an example. So morning delight is going to be during London or New York, right? And I know I use higher time frame. But I'll show you in a second. Let me see if we had, let's go back to gold 1 second. Okay. It's not really setting up for anything. Alright, so basically you're doing, if you guys have researched the videos during the Tokyo session, which is the UJ setup, you do the same thing, but you do it in the morning. And also you only look at between midnight and 7 a.m. You look for the hourly, let me show you. So between midnight and 7 a.m. you look at the last swing high and the last swing low, right? And what you're looking for is, once you find that, you're either looking for a 5-minute entry, which is going to be well, before you do that, you're going to mark the 7 a.m. open, right? And you're either going to look for an engulfing on a 5-minute, and stop loss would be 15 pips, take profit is 30 pips, right? So a 2R. Or sometimes it could be higher, but or you look for on a 1-minute, you're gonna look for a fair value gap or an imbalance, whatever you call it, and you see one right here, the first one right here, right? And the imbalance should be below the 7 a.m. open and the swing low, the hourly swing low. So it was right here. However, the engulfing doesn't have to be. Let me see if I can go back to where I was. Yeah, right here. The engulfing doesn't have to be. The engulfing just has to be below the 7 a.m. open. And I've noticed it work time and time again. Very profitable. 30 pips right there. Stop loss is 15 pips. Let's see. I wonder why this was 30 pips stop loss. I'm not quite sure. Oh, it wasn't. It was 15 pips, sorry. Let me go ahead and move this 15. Alright, right there. And 30 pips. Okay. As you can see, it almost took you up, but then it went and hit TP. And same thing here. So these are 5-minute entries with the engulfing, right? You had an engulfing there, and take profit 15 to 30. Same here, 15 to 30. And let me see. This was actually a 1-minute entry. It wasn't a 5-minute entry, but it could have been a 5-minute entry. What else? So this was a 5-minute entry as well, and I do believe this was no trading and this was no trading, so there will be days where you don't have trades. And then this was a 1 minute entry. 5 minute entry could have been right here, and this went up 71 pips. And then this was a 1 minute entry as well, but it could have been a 5 minutes. So in this case here, we're just looking for the same thing to happen on pound. You could say this is a 5 minute entry right here, but let me see. If you enter right there, obviously it isn't really, when was this? At 8:20? I wouldn't enter right there, but you know, it's almost hitting stop loss, right? 5 pips is right there, and 30 pips is, let's see if it could give you 30 pips right here. Yeah, it could give you 30 pips before it hits the low here. So, I mean, that's not a bad entry right there. Obviously, it looks like it's going to hit stop loss. So I would look for, we're looking for another entry. This is not the entry I like. I'll show you when the entry I like comes. But as far as gold goes, we're not seeing an entry yet. I'm looking for a drilling entry right here. And what I might do is, if we get a trade, I might take profit like at the 61 level right here. So I might do something like this right here. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I might do something like that. I might not take it all the way up because it's still a 9, basically a 10R. So I think we're good if we do that. Other than that, we're just waiting. The charts are pretty clean. I don't really add anything else to the chart. I don't need to see anything else. Okay. Here we might get an entry. Remember, we want it to come down at least to this level here. And if it takes us out, we're going to take another re-entry down here. And remember, you could take up to 4 of these trades. So your risk reward really has to be on point. And if we don't get a trade in the next 30 minutes, obviously we're going to not trade this. Okay, one more thing I would like to check is USD JPY, see how USD JPY did yesterday. So here we have UJ, and I'm gonna go back. We're gonna go 15 minutes, and while we wait on gold, I don't think gold is doing anything. So let's go back and see how UJ did yesterday. Okay, so 15 minutes swing high. Since it's Sunday, right, we don't need to look at Friday's stuff. So we're going to mark the high because it has no other swing high that was not broken. And the swing low that was not broken would be actually down here. So if I go on 1 minute, let's see what happened. Okay, so it got broken right here. It has 2 types of entries, right? The first entry is you look from the last swing low to the current low. Once price broke this right here, that's your entry, and that's your stop loss is about a pip lower, and take profit is 1.5. So it would have stopped you out. I don't really use big stop losses. That was at 820. It looks like it would have then, obviously, the entry that would have worked would have been this one right here. Right? Closed above it there, and I think that gives you, if you use this low plus 1 pip, 1.5 would be not there, it would be up here, so it has to come all the way up here. I'm not sure if it hit take profit. Okay, so it ended up hitting take profit on this entry here. So this entry didn't, and then the next entry, which was this one here, did. I haven't been trading UJ. Okay, so here we had, I wasn't watching this, but here we finally had the entry. If you set limit orders, which you could have set limit orders, you would be in the trade right now, right? And the price you want it to go to is, let me go ahead and I want to zoom in so you guys could still see the candles forming, but at this point, if you miss the trade, there's no point in chasing it. What you could do is wait until it touches this again and then take it. You don't have to take it at the 50% line. You could now take it at this level, but we'll keep it at the 50% line. Once it hits the 0.5, you move to break even, or you could get out. And if you move to break even, you could either just go for this level right here, which is 18R, or you can go for this level right here. I didn't take it because I didn't set a what do you call it? A limit order, because I was waiting for the lower one. I did say I might take this one, but I was pretty much waiting for this one here, which is okay. It may still come down here. You know, it's not for sure that it's gonna hit TP, right? So I wouldn't if you miss a trade, there's no point in chasing it, because you never know which one's gonna win and which one's gonna lose. Like, this could still flip over and come down here, take this out, and then hit this and then go up. We don't really know for a fact what it's going to do. Okay, we're just waiting right now. Alright, so here we might get another entry. I'm still not taking this, even though we're getting an entry here. If you missed it, you could re-enter once it gets in this area, but I'm waiting more for this area down here, at least. Okay. Here you go. If you missed it, it went back into the imbalance right here. So if you missed the trade, it has gone back into the imbalance. Okay. Did anyone enter that trade when price went back down in here? Or are you guys also waiting for this level? Let me look at, I want to take a look at pound USD really quick. Okay, pound USD looks like it created a small, no, I wouldn't say that's an imbalance. Let's see on the 5-minute. On the 5-minute, it created an entry right here on pound USD, which you could take as well, if you guys want to try this out, but, or if you want to watch it, doesn't really matter, right? Your take profit is 30 pips, right? So that's where your take profit would be, down here. And it may work, it may not work out, but you have to take the risk, right? That's what the trade looks like right here. Let's take a look at gold again. Looks like gold wants to... We're getting some volatility. I didn't see the news today. I don't think there was any red news, so I didn't really check. I do believe now price will go up here. So let me go ahead and move this over here. It was, I do believe it was 9 point, yeah. As far as the regular entry, we don't have a regular entry. The regular entry has to go all the way down here and break and close below here, which it may not do unless these two trades fail. I don't see it breaking and closing below here. And without news, it's very, very, very hard. If it doesn't give you an entry early on, without news, it's very hard to get an entry, because this may just continue trending up, or it may continue trending down. Let's take a look at pound USD. So pound USD would be in drawdown right now. We're just watching to see what it does. Gold is currently in profit, not by much, but it's in profit. This weekend I was focused on videos, so I didn't really do the weekly signals, but I do believe there was only a couple of them anyway. I am looking out for the weekly signals, which I will be sending once again. Not today, obviously, but next weekend. As long as I have the videos and everything set up properly, I will start sending the weekly videos. I mean the weekly signals. For those of you who can't really trade during, but the weekly signals do get quiet for a couple weeks, you know, so maybe it's a smart idea to take weekly signals when there's like more than 6 of them, and then when there isn't a lot of like signals during the weekly, then you could trade gold, or you could be trading both. But I strongly advise not to leave out USD JPY and gold if you're doing weekly. Okay, so far gold is consolidating, which is above, it's consolidating above this right here, right? Which is a good sign, because it's trying to show us that it's failing to break lower, and it's staying above this while it's consolidating, which does show a good sign that it could blow towards the upside. Okay, so here, maybe this is the blow up right here. Looks like it may explode towards the upside. You have this nice downward trend right here that is getting broken, right? Let me see if I can touch the, right, like if you put it like this, right? Or if you touch the last two lows, which would be right here and would be right there, you could see that you have a breakout right here. I don't trade based on trend lines, but sometimes it's good to kind of like look at a different perspective of why your trade is working out or why it isn't working out. This seems to also be holding, but look at how it's holding. It's holding, right? But every time it reverses, it's getting less and less. So unless this goes down further, I don't think this will hold. As you can see on this side here, it had, price may very well test this. It had this move right here where this is the last, right here, you have the first two lows, right? And then this right here, you could consider a liquidity grab right here. So if price is going to keep going up, price may retest this area right here. So it may consolidate right here and then come down and then go up. We're just waiting to see. I do strongly believe that we will reach the upside here. Let's see what pound USD is doing. So pound USD is actually losing. It's in a drawdown of 6 pips. Let's see. So far so good. On the 5-minute, gold does look very bullish, right? Right here it's breaking out and it's not failing, right? It keeps going, trying to break higher, which we may get to see a big candle shoot up here. Yep, so on a 5-minute, this is looking pretty decent. Here's the breakout, right? And we may get a reversal. If this is a fake out, we may get a reversal soon. Here's what it looks like on the 1-minute. Now, if you're very optimistic and you believe price could go up here, that's 18R, right? That's 9% if you're risking 0.5. And we've seen, I think last week, gold drilling lost 1 day and won 1 day. We'll take a review of last week after this trade here. Once it gets up here, you just move it to break even. Again, I didn't take this on this entry here. I was waiting for it to come down here. This is the first entry, obviously. You take the entry as long as it is an imbalance or a fair value gap after 8:20, and well, you take the first one after 8 o'clock, and then after 8:20 you could take up to 4 trades, okay? As long as the bias is in your favor. So in this case we were bullish for the day, so we're gonna take gold on any bullish imbalance we see, and we see one here, we see one here. However, I drew this one out, but I'm waiting for this one here, but this is a valid entry. So here we have a retest of that trend line, right? And like I said, this could be a fake out, and if it is a fake out, it's probably going to crash now, and we may get an entry down here, or it may fail. But if this is just a regular retest, then it's probably going to continue higher. It's retesting this whole area of consolidation. Pound USD looks like it would have failed. Well, it hasn't failed just yet, but it looks like it will. Gold is still looking decent. Right now we don't have anything. We're just monitoring this, see what gold does. And it may be one of those days where we don't get anything, but it's always good to show up, because you never know which days will have trades and which days won't, right? As far as the original trade on gold, we needed it to break this level here, this line, and it broke it, but it did not close below it. We needed to close below this level. Alright, so there's the retest done, right? It broke and retested, so hopefully now it continues going higher. if within the next, like, I don't know, 10 minutes we don't see it coming back down to our entries, then I'll probably just end the stream off for the day, because we probably won't get a trade if it doesn't start going down soon. But it will be nice to know if gold would have worked out, so we'll keep watching it for now. Pound USD looks like it probably wouldn't have, but let's keep looking at gold. Okay. Looks like it's starting to push higher. We still have a goal of this level to not take profit but to break even, and then this is the level for take profit, or you can even take it all the way up here. If you're really optimistic on gold hitting up here, then that's 18R, but to get up here you have to make sure you move break even to this level right here, okay? That way if it reverses against you, you lose nothing. Or you could even argue the fact that you can move to break even now if you took this trade, because if it does crash down, then I don't see it bouncing back up, right? At least not at this level. So even moving stop loss to break even here would be a decent idea. But as far as the trade go, let me see if I can just change this to, okay. Okay. I mean, it was a good trade, right? But I was trying to be patient and going for the better entry. Of course, if your risk is 0.5 here and 0.5 here, you only lose 1% if these two lose. Alright, looks like gold is about to hit the break-even point here. And then it's probably going to reverse a little bit and continue going higher. I hope you guys are really paying attention to the gold drilling entry. It's really good. It doesn't work every day, but given Mondays and Tuesdays, if you lose both days, you lose like 4%. But if you win one of those days, you're probably winning. Just like today, if this wins alone, this is a 5% win, because look at the risk right here, 9.96, right? So if you go like, let's just say 10R, which is just slightly higher, This is risking 0.5. This is a 5% winner. And if it loses, well, if it comes back down, you break even anyway. So now it's like you're either going to make 5% or you're going to lose nothing. Tomorrow night we do have news on NZD, which, by the way, I know some of you have been trading NZD and you know by now that we haven't lost a single NZD trade when it came to news. NZD news has given, I think since like 2 months ago, it's given 100% win rate in about like 4 or 5 trades. So I will be looking to trade it again, and I will take it on the trade copier. For those of you who are on the trade copier, I will do NZD news on the trade copier. So it will, this time I'm not using my Forex funds, so it's going to be way better in terms of take profit and stop loss. Okay. We'll keep the stream going for a little bit longer. As long as it hits up here, or when it reaches 9:10. I don't want to take too much of your time, so I will just watch this for a little bit longer. Let's see what pound USD obviously went against our original. Let me look at the 1 minute. So on the 1 minute, the entry on a 1 minute is an imbalance, and it didn't really have an imbalance. It did have one here, but other than that one, it didn't really have one after 8:30, which you could trade after 8, but anytime after 7 actually is pretty good. But from when we started looking at the charts, it was at like 8:20, so you could have probably lost this on pound USD. But that also has a high win rate. We'll look at it tomorrow when it shows up. Okay, let's see what gold is doing. Okay, we'll see a nice pullback. It doesn't really matter what it does here. At this point, I probably would have been at break even. But I do believe this pullback is it's gonna keep going higher. It's just a healthy pullback because it's been moving like what? Straight up for several candles. Another thing I've been seeing people on YouTube talk a lot about is ICT's silver bullet. So in a case where I don't really trade ICT stuff, but people have been really talking about it, so I will backtest it and let you guys know if it's worth trading. It will be a free method, so I'll upload videos on YouTube about it, but because it's his strategy or whatever. But I know a lot of people are like posting videos that don't make sense about the ICT silver bullet, so it may get you confused. So I'll post how you're supposed to take it. I'll post some backtest and we'll see how it goes. Let's take a look at gold on the daily. So this is the daily chart for gold. And we had a big candle on Friday. Not as big as it should have been, right? This is Friday NFP. Thursday we had a small candle. So after a big candle, you usually expect a small candle, which Larry Williams has said, right? So I do see this flipping back up, but in a case where it doesn't flip back up, this may end as like a dodgy something like this here, which means it should hit take profit of 0.61. On the hourly, it looks pretty bullish. Okay, this could flip down, but so far it looks pretty bullish, right? And the next candle could do something like this. If this ends strong, sorry if you hear the background noise, there's workers, but if this ends strong, this could go something like this. And then continue going down, but so far so good. It's looking like it wants to hit the 0.5 Fibonacci level right now. Okay, so it's hit the level right here. So that's it. You move your stop loss to break even, right? But we already would have moved it earlier on this big move here. So in this case, we would do nothing unless you were taking profit there. But I think since we've reached this level here, it doesn't really matter what it does. I'm just trying to showcase you the gold drilling entry. So if it doesn't hit take profit in the next, like, let's say 5 minutes, I will end the stream off, because at this point it wouldn't matter if it came back down or if it kept going up, because we already know that you would be risk free even if you followed the rules perfectly, because the rules perfectly says you enter on an imbalance, right? 50% of the imbalance. There was one right here. There was one right here. It didn't go to this one here. It went to this one. So you entered on 50% right here. It went up, came back down into the imbalance, right? Not the 50, but it came back into it and then kept going up. Once it hits the 0.5 fib, you move stops to break even. Okay? And at that point, you could either take profit here, which is 18R, or I forgot to mention, which is my fault. Let's see. Midnight open would have been over here. So honestly, I wouldn't have taken midnight open. Okay? So midnight open was not take profit. So it's actually pretty good that you could take this right here as take profit. when it reaches up here, okay? And that's it. That's pretty much it. You don't lose anything. You only took one trade. And let's see. We have about maybe like 5, not 5, but like 4 minutes. If it doesn't hit this take profit, I'll just end the stream off because I'm pretty sure it will sooner or later. But I want to showcase this trade from start to finish if you were able to enter it here. Now, just because I didn't enter it here does not mean you didn't have to enter it here. I did mention that we did want to take an entry down here because this is a valid gold drilling entry. I didn't take it, but that does not necessarily mean everybody doesn't have to take it. I was waiting for this one here, the lower one, but obviously price doesn't always feed you the lowest one, right? I could have taken a smaller position here and then taken the normal position right here, but it was already too late. Okay, let's see if it hits it in 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah, it's a very good trade today actually. It's almost hitting a 10R, which it will probably hit, but maybe not right now. It could end up going down here, but we'll see how it does. It may retest this area right here. But regardless, I'll probably end it off here. I don't think it will shoot up. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but I'll end it off here, guys. I hope you guys have a nice day, and thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow the same time, alright? And make sure you look out for those private videos about the USD JPY backtest, and perhaps maybe I will talk about a new entry for USD JPYs, alright, at night. Alright guys, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.